I don't even know how we got there, because I tried to make it clear how many civil rights, it doesn't just boil down to one conversation, but I can see that somebody's campaign coffers really are struggling right now. So she gonna keep saying trans, 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 so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or
not. Do
not
call me a child. I am no child.
I want
Don't
to
even
find
start.
out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those emails actually have. Chairman, I am reclaiming my time.
You will not do that. I am not a child.
I am reclaiming my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr. Chairman, the committee is not in order.
Order.
Point of order.
Broke loose in Congress. Nancy Mace just put Jasmine Crockett squarely in her place in a hearing that showed exactly what happens when a conservative woman refuses to be silenced. You're watching Right Focus, where we cut through the chaos and expose what the mainstream media won't. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because on Right Focus, we tell the truth unapologetically.
Is this 5? Mm-hmm. Any further members seek recognition?
Mr. Chair.
Chair, recognize Ms. Crockett.
I have an amendment at the desk.
So there's 5. Will the clerk, everyone has the amendment. Everyone has the Crockett amendment on the desk. Will the clerk please report the amendment?
An amendment to the rules of the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform for the 119th Congress is offered by Ms. Crockett of Texas.
Without objection, the amendment is considered as read. I reserve a point of order. The gentlewoman is recognized for 5 minutes to explain her amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. During the 118th Congress, Oversight Republicans disbanded one of the most important subcommittees in Congress, the Subcommittee on Civil Rights and Civil Liberties. And now in the 119th Congress, the chairman and House Republicans have decided to prioritize the demands of the real president, Elon Musk, and his billionaire friends over the needs of the American people. Now, we are about to approach the birthday of Martin Luther King. It's actually tomorrow. And on January 20th will be the inauguration of Donald Trump, but it will also be the observation of MLK Day. And the fact that we have decided that in this country we are not going to honor civil rights should be something that we all take issue with. Considering the fact, for some that don't know what civil rights are about, because some people only believe that it deals with black folk, let me explain. Civil and political rights are a class of rights that protect individuals' freedom from the infringement by governments, social organizations, and private individuals. They ensure one's entitlement to participate in the civil and political life of society and the state. Defined another way, the right to be free from discrimination, the freedom to worship as we choose, the right to vote for our elected representatives, the protections of due process, the right to privacy. If any of that sounds familiar, it is because these are rights that are born out of our Constitution, something that we all supposedly have sworn an oath to, and we swear to not only, we don't just swear to it, we are supposed to protect those rights. Interestingly enough, we just had the funeral of one of our beloved presidents. And I caught a flight to Austin on the day of the funeral. And I had the honor of sitting next to someone who was a little familiar with the White House. That person was Lucy Baines Johnson. And when I tell you that she is a wealth of information, I really mean that. And when we had an opportunity to talk about what she experienced as her father was president during a time in which, honestly, our country was on fire, and I would argue that, unfortunately, our country is on fire right now. When I first ran for office, I ran for the State House and said that we were in the midst of a modern-day civil rights movement, and I have not been convinced otherwise just yet. But this is the daughter of the president that signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964. She was also there when he signed the Voting Rights Act of 1965. And to be perfectly honest, without that voting rights, I don't believe that I actually would have a seat in Congress. And so I do believe in preserving the fact that everyone should be entitled to real and true representation, because I do have a Section 2 seat as our Voting Rights Act has been decimated. But one of the stories that she told me was that her father asked her about coming over to the Congress for the signing of the bill as it relates to the Voting Rights Act. Now, for her, it was a bit inconvenient as an 18-year-old to have to leave the White House and go over to Congress. And she asked her father, why should we go over to the Congress, Daddy, to sign this particular bill? And she said, we need to go over to the Congress because we need to pay due respect to those members of Congress that knew that voting for this bill meant that they would not be returning to Congress, but they had the courage to do what was right for this country and make sure that everyone's voices were going to be heard. The one thing that we could do, the very small thing that we could do, is have a little bit of courage and decide that we are going to reinstitute this particular subcommittee, because unfortunately, I don't see the type of courage that the people that served back in the 60s had coming out of some of our colleagues. And so I'm asking you to do the courageous thing today and just institute a subcommittee that would make sure that we are looking out for those protections of everyone in this country, to make sure that we have real freedom, something that we all supposedly espouse to believe in. And with that, I will yield.
Mr. Chairman.
Gentlelady's time's expired. Any member seek recognition?
Yes.
Mr. Higgins? Oh, Ms. Mace was first. I'm sorry. Ms. Mace.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, I don't know what's going on today. I find it extremely rich and offensive. So we're talking about civil rights. I'm the former ranking member on the Civil Rights Subcommittee, something I believe in civil rights and civil liberties of all Americans. And we were talking about infringement of individual people. Also, quote, the right to privacy of individuals. Coming from a party that can't define what a woman is and won't give women the right to privacy. You all want men with penises, chicks with dicks, in the bathroom with us. You want women to be forced to undress in front of men in the locker room and in dressing rooms. And it's so hypocritical for you to sit here and say and be, screaming from the rooftops about the right to privacy and civil rights when you don't respect women. And you don't respect women who've been raped, women who are victims of sexual abuse. And you want me, a victim of rape, a survivor of rape, to go into a locker room and be forced to undress in front of a man? You have to be effing kidding me. So I don't want to hear about you talk about rights, individual rights, civil rights, because you can't find the courage from the 60s to fight for women all around America. Fight for women like me, every single woman. And as a rape survivor, I shouldn't have to explain to you why women have rights and why women, when we're in the bathroom, when we're in the locker room, when we're in a dressing room, why I don't feel safe when there is a man nearby. And the fact that we're going here and we're going to say all these things is the ripeness of hypocrisy on the Hill. People need to tell the truth. And if we're going to talk about the rights of individuals, we have to talk about it. Everybody has rights, including women. And at some point, men are infringing on the rights of women. We just had it today. We just had a vote about protecting women and girls in sports. And I believe it wasn't one. It was two people from the Democrat Party who voted to protect women's rights in sports today. Two. So this is, Mr. Chairman, this is a deeply offensive conversation to me today. We want to talk about real freedom. Women have freedom in this country. Women have the freedom to go to a private women's only space and not see a man in it. Women have the right to change and not be feared that somebody with their sexual perversion, someone who's confused about their gender, we have the right to feel safe in these spaces. We have the right to know that we're not going to have trans people filming us in the bathroom. How many of these trannies are taking selfies? These men are taking selfies in women's spaces, in the bathroom. It's gross. It's disgusting. So if we're going to talk about civil rights, let's talk about the rights of women in this country and how you are stripping them away every single day. And you're doing it in your legislation, you're doing it in your messaging, you're doing it on X. You're making women feel unsafe in this country. And you're making the opportunity for women and girls to be raped, to be sexually abused in this country even greater than they've ever been. So don't come over here with your attitude and talk to me about rights when you're trying to take my rights as a woman, a rape survivor, away. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. Any member seek recognition? Ms. Stansberry.
I don't even know how we got there because I tried to make it clear how many civil rights, it doesn't just boil down to one conversation, but I can see that somebody's campaign coffers really are struggling right now. So she gonna keep saying trans, so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or
Do
not.
not call me a child. I am no child.
I want
Don't
to
even
find
start.
out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those
I am 47 years
emails
old. I have broken
actually
more
have.
glass ceilings than you
Chairman,
ever
I
Order,
am
please.
reclaiming my
Let's go.
time.
You will not do that. I am
Order.
not a child.
I am
not a
reclaiming
child.
my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr.
we can
Chairman,
do
the
that.
committee is not
Okay,
in
all
order.
right. Order.
Point of order. Point of order.
Order. Chair recognizes Ms. Crockett.
No, point of order, Mr. Chairman.
State your point.
Is it allowed in the rules for a member to incite violence against another member? I mean, she said she wants to take it outside with.
Hey, I have the
Crockett.
First Amendment right too,
And
young
so
man. I have the
I'd like
First
those
Amendment
words
right.
to be
I'm not
taken
gonna be a
down.
child.
I
I'm
am
not gonna
moving
be
to have
called a
those
child
words
by
taken
any of
down.
you.
I believe it's against the rules to
Going
incite
outside doesn't
violence
incite
against
violence.
another
You have a
member of
conversation
Congress.
that isn't.
The committee will
interrupting this
suspend,
committee.
the member will state the words he wishes taken down.
Where she said that we can take it outside, which is direct violation against the rules, inciting violence against another member.
What rule? What rule? Cite the rule.
How does that incite violence?
Mr. Chairman, there are, if I might point out, Mr. Chairman, there are decorum rules in the House of Representatives.
And the two parliamentarians are discussing this right now. We'll suspend for a second. All right. The chair's going to make a rule. What the gentlelady said was, we can take this outside if you want. And
Okay, so-
that could mean you could go outside and have a cup of coffee or perhaps a beer or, I mean, we have
Seriously,
Mr.
Mr.
lots of
Chairman?
conversations outside.
Mr.
So I'm going to rule that that it was just
that it's okay.
that it's okay.
All right, and then point of inquiry. I have
And
a
remember,
question.
this is a slippery slope you're going down because we have
Oh, you're
disagreements
going
in
down
this
the
committee,
slippery
as you
slope.
know.
So just to be clear, in this committee, we can ask, we can
Apparently.
threaten violence on someone as long as
no,
at
that's
the end.
not-
Excuse me.
I did not threaten violence.
Excuse me.
I threatened no
Excuse me.
violence.
There was
I threatened no violence.
There was no violence.
As long
no
as
violence.
at the
Don't
end-
create a
I
false
threatened
add a
no
question
violence.
that was
None.
over
None.
another
You're
person.
making shit up as
It's
you
good
go
to know.
along. You
Good
might
to
want
know.
to figure this one out.
Order. There was
Mr.
no
I thought you were
Chairman.
cursing today.
No violence.
Mr. Chairman,
No violence.
I'm going to appeal the ruling of the chair.
Mr. Chairman, I
gonna
Chairman, I have
approve the ruling
a
of the
point of
chair.
inquiry.
State-
And I apologize because I had a meeting and came right down. Is it true that Ms. Mace was belittled by being called a child? Is that against our rules?
I would have to look up the rules. I don't know that it's
I'd like to
specifically in
appeal
the
the
rules.
word
We
ruling.
asked for proper decorum.
Can we strike
asked
it then?
everybody
I'd like to have it
belong.
stricken.
Okay. Now,
I'd
there's
have Ms.
a
Crockett's word stricken then.
there's a motion. You have a motion, Mr. Frost?
I move to appeal the ruling of the chair.
There's a motion to appeal the ruling of the chair. Chair recognizes Mr.
And then
Gosar.
there's
I
also
move
a
to
motion
table.
to strike words, Mr. Chairman.
I move to table, Mr. Chairman.
There's a motion.
Motion to take down words, sorry.
There's a motion to table. The motion is not debatable okay, the motion is not debatable. All those in favor of, what's the table? Okay. We're going to vote on the motion to table by Mr. Gosar, to table Mr. Frost's appeal. So the motion is not debatable. As all in favor of Mr. Gosar's motion to table Mr. Frost's amendment or motion, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no.
No.
In the opinion of the chair, the
Mr.
ayes
Chair, I
have
ask for a
it.
recorded vote.
The motion is agreed to. A recorded vote is ordered. The clerk will call the roll. We have to do that right now. Clerk will call the roll. Would the clerk report the tally?
Mr. Chairman, on this vote, the ayes are 22, the nays are 17.
The motion to table passes. Now we will go back to debate, and I believe it was Ms. Crockett with 2 minutes and 57 seconds remaining.
Mr. Chairman, I have a
Mr.
motion.
Chair, I actually had more time than that, but
Mr. Chairman, I have
I
a
can
quick
finish
motion.
up in the 2:40.
Chairman, I have
I
a
was-
quick, Mr. Chairman, I have a
We'll give you 4 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman, I have a quick motion.
Oh, wait a minute, Chair recognize Mr. Donalds.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we move to structured debate for 15 minutes on Ms. Crockett's amendment.
Motion and second to structure debate for 15 minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? No.
No.
Motion passes to limit debate to 15 minutes.
Mr. Chair, I'd ask for a recorded vote.
Really? Yeah. All right, the clerk will the clerk will call the roll on Mr. Donald's motion to limit debate to 15 minutes to each.
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Chairman. Are we in the middle of debating this motion?
I don't believe it's debatable, is it? It is debatable. It's debatable. Yeah, the motion to debate is already passed. I apologize. So now we're on the vote to, the clerk's calling the vote,
Right,
So-
a recorded vote.
recorded vote
Thank you.
on Mr. Donald's motion to limit debate to 15 minutes. All right, the clerk will report the vote tally.
Mr. Chairman, on this vote, the ayes are 23, the nays are 16.
All right, the motion passes for Mr. Donalds to limit debate to 15 minutes. Ms. Crockett will get her remaining 4 minutes, and then each side will have 7.5 additional minutes if necessary. So the chair recognizes Ms. Crockett for the remainder of her 4 minutes that don't count towards the limit to debate. Then from there on, if there's further requests for debate, there'll be 7.5 minutes each time. Chair recognizes Ms. Crockett for her remaining 4 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The final points that I was going to make is while this amendment has to do with civil rights, for whatever reason, the colleague on the other side of the aisle decided to attack Democrats and pretend as if we do not look out for women. And I want to be clear that it's Democrats that were pushing for the Equal Rights Amendment, and I don't recall any Republicans supporting us having the Equal Rights Amendment. I also want to make it clear that just because someone fantasizes or wants to be dramatic about the idea of someone could be a quote unquote man in a locker room or in a bathroom, I've yet to hear an actual testimony of someone who, for whatever reason, has experienced this in real time. But I can tell you some real numbers and some real facts, because I don't like to live in fantasy when I'm talking about how I'm going to govern for the American people. The facts are, in my state alone, in the state of Texas, once they decided that they were going to overturn the Roe decision, 26,000 women then ended up raped. 26,000 is what we had reported. And that was only within about a year's time span. And when they reported those rapes, none of them seemed to have anything to do with trans folk. And I don't recall any legislation to help out those women in Texas and beyond that are actually dying. We're not projecting may die, but are actually dying or have died in southern states that have decided that they wanted to go after our reproductive freedom. So as a woman in this country, as a Texan, and as a Black woman who, when we look at the numbers, and I believe in data and science, and I know that that escapes a lot of people in this chamber, but the numbers are clear that specifically Black women have always struggled when it came down to the maternal mortality rates in general. The fact that somebody who looks like me, no matter how much money they have, because I can remind you of a very wealthy tennis star that almost lost her life while trying to give birth. Some things I honestly just don't think should be partisan. And frankly, I do believe in privacy because honestly, I don't want none of y'all making decisions if I ever end up pregnant and have to decide what it takes for me to save my life. And I give the same opportunity for other women in this country to make decisions as they see fit. So while we look at how we protect women completely differently, I can tell you that at least in the 766,000 women or 766,000 constituents that I represent, I have had them come to me concerned about whether or not they could survive childbirth. But I have not had a single person in my district tell me that they were concerned that they may be raped by a trans person. So if there is an issue to solve in this country based on facts, data, and statistics, I think that we need to look at the type of health care that we are going to advance for women in this country. And with that, I will yield.
Gentlelady yields back. We're going to now go into the 15-minute cap.
This hearing was one for the books. Jasmine Crockett came in swinging, trying to score political points with the same tired talking points about trans rights and women's freedom. But what she didn't expect was Nancy Mace, calm, sharp, and unafraid to push back when the left tried to talk down to her. When Crockett called Mace a child, that was the moment everything flipped. Nancy Mace fired right back, standing her ground and reminding everyone in that room she's no child. She's a U.S. Congresswoman who's earned her seat and won't be disrespected by anyone. That moment showed the difference between confidence and chaos, between leadership and victimhood. Then came the so-called "take it outside" comment, which Democrats immediately twisted into some fake threat of violence. It's laughable. They'll scream and shout all day long, but the moment a Republican woman stands up for herself, they cry foul. Thankfully, the chairman got it right, saying "take it outside" doesn't mean violence. It means let's deal with this directly. But of course, the left doesn't do direct. They do drama. The Democrats appealed the ruling, lost the vote, and melted down, 22-17. Republicans stood firm. That's what strength looks like. Crockett then tried to hijack the moment with emotional rhetoric about abortion, reproductive rights, and women dying. But here's what she ignored: real American women are struggling because of Democrat policies. Inflation is crushing families. Crime is rising in our cities. Border chaos is out of control. And instead of fixing those issues, Democrats waste time pushing divisive identity politics and victim narratives. Nancy Mace stood for something bigger in that hearing. She stood for principle. She showed that conservatives aren't going to bow to the left's emotional blackmail. She didn't yell. She didn't back down. She simply refused to be bullied, and that's exactly the kind of leadership the right needs more of. So when Jasmine Crockett thought she could make Nancy Mace back off, she found out the hard way that this isn't Twitter, this is Congress, and conservatives are done playing nice. If you're tired of watching the left twist every discussion into an emotional circus, then stay with Right Focus. Hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe so you don't miss our next breakdown of the truth they don't want you to hear. This is Right Focus, where we keep our eyes on what matters, defend common sense, and call out the chaos. Until next time, stay sharp, stay free, and stay focused.